You're watching HCC News with Johnny Harvey, Sonia Norris, and Nick Wall with sports.
Hello and welcome back to another edition of HCC News. I'm Johnny Harvey.
And I'm Sonia Norris. Here's what's happening around Hutchinson this week. Another Kansas State Fair is over and done with, but we wanted to take one more look behind the scenes with some of the many people involved in making it a success in our segment, Faces of the Fair.
What's your event and how long have you been coming to the Kansas State Fair?
My name is Eli Sprinkle. I'm with Kansas Department of Wildlife Parks and Tourism. We've had this mobile aquarium here at the State Fair for 4 years now, and we have it set up with a lot of different fish species from Kansas, so we can show people all the fish diversity in Kansas, and we can generate a lot of questions and interact with the public and help generate some interest in fishing.
What's the most common question you get? A lot of kids coming up here poking at the fish, pointing.
A lot of them like to ask about our long-nosed gar. They all think it's a swordfish, and a shovel-nosed sturgeon. A lot of them think it's a shark. We get a lot of those questions, and we get a lot of questions about what's the biggest fish in there and the heaviest fish, and we get a lot of other fishing questions. You know, how to fish or fishing regulation questions. But the kids always ask about the unique fish, the gar and the sturgeon and the catfish.
And you fish out of that tank every once in a while just to demonstrate?
Yeah, we get up there and take some practice. We don't use hooks, but we let people see how the fish hit the bait, and the kids really love that.
And that tank, how big is that guy? How much water does it carry?
It's 3,200 gallons, and it's 40,000 pounds when it's full of water. We can't haul it that heavy, so we haul it empty. We fill it up here and bring the fish in a separate truck and do all that here, set up here.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
I got married. This is my wife in here, Dixie, and her father owned this business and worked here for 46 years at the State Fair with the Pronto Pup business. Pronto Pups originated years ago in Portland, Oregon, and a guy was feeding buns that were soggy buns that he didn't sell out at the beach at his hot dog stand, and then he decided he needed to make a product so he didn't have to throw his buns away because the humidity would mess up his buns by the end of the day. So he developed this batter that you could just dip your hot dog, and he called it Done in a Bun. That was the original start of a Pronto Pup. And then they franchised that flour mix, and that's the flour mix we use today. Pronto Pete over here, he was the woodcutter, A.J. Luther. He does the chainsaw art here at the fair. Last year he carved that out with the chainsaw, and then this summer my wife and my daughter painted that so it looked like the Pronto Pete that's the original logo with Pronto Pups.
I'm Heath Allen. This is Apollo. He's a pointer mix. We've been doing the fair, I don't know, about 8 to 10 years probably now, so we're here to adopt animals from the shelter.
You bring a lot of different animals up here day to day?
Yeah, we bring different ones out every day. When the cooler weather hits, we'll bring some cats out and stuff like that. So,
yeah, with the hotter weather, dogs are obviously more favorable.
Yeah, definitely.
And you get a lot of people coming up here asking questions. Do you get a lot of adoption inquiries?
Oh yeah, we sure do. We get some every day. So.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Fair officials believe the numbers were down a bit from last year, but the last Sunday's concert featuring Big Time Rush sold more than 7,000 tickets.
If you like to see dead people, like to party with mathematicians, and like to be 3 feet away from all the action, come out to see HCC's production of Proof tonight through Saturday. Doors will open at 7 and the show will start at 7:30. Tickets are $7 for adults, with HCC students and employees free with an ID.
Also this weekend is the Hutchinson's first half marathon. The inaugural run for the Rocks Half Marathon and Half Marathon Relay will be held Sunday, September 25th at 8 a.m. The race will begin in Cary Park, make its way up the Martinez Trail to Rice Park. From Rice Park, the runners will head to the fairgrounds, down by the Cosmosphere, and end at Gowan Stadium. For more information, visit runfortherocks.com.
Then on Monday the 26th, be sure to attend the Dillon Lecture Series at the Sports Arena. Chief Richard Picasio, Battalion Chief of the Fire Department of New York, will be the first speaker of the session of the lecture series here at HCC. In recognition of Picasio's public service, all of emergency personnel, including area police, fire, EMS, and dispatch, will be admitted free as well. Picasio will speak on his experience in surviving the 9/11 attack on the World Trade Center. He was the highest-ranking firefighter to survive the World Trade Center collapse. It was trapped for 4 hours before being rescued. The lecture starts at 10:30. The cost is $10 with students and emergency personnel admitted free. HCC students will also be on assembly schedule.
For some, the National Air Race Championship in Reno, Nevada are an entertaining outing to watch planes race by at blinding speeds. For the Elvin family, the races are a chance to gather and be together, but at last week's race, Cherie Elvin, the 71-year-old matriarch of the family and 1957 Hutchinson High School graduate, was one of 11 killed in the horrifying crash at Reno Stead Airport. Her husband, 73-year-old Chuck Elvin, 2 adult sons, and one of their wives also suffered serious injuries. But on Wednesday, the 2 sons and other family members gathered at the Reno hospital to address the media over their loss. "There wasn't any other place she'd rather be," said Jim Elvin, and third son from Atlanta, who was not injured in the accident. "We want everyone to understand, as tragic as what happened to her, she was where she wanted to be, with her family. She was enjoying those races," he said. A cousin, Alan Martin Elvin, added, "Cherie would not want this accident, as tragic as it is, to be the reason the air races are canceled."
This past Monday, the Fox Theater on 1st and Main Street revealed to the community its brand new luminescent neon marquee. All of this was made possible by a grant given to the theater from the Kansas State Historical Society, History Trust Fund, and the Community Luminous Neon, which did the restoring. The grant paid $90,000 worth of restoration, and the Fox Theater used a little over $9,000 to pay for the project.
Some Haven school districts' parents were forced to pick up their children along a busy highway Wednesday afternoon after the school bus they were riding in malfunctioned shortly after 4 p.m. Driver Shirley Pike was heading westbound on US 50 when she noticed smoke trailing from the bus. She immediately pulled over and called 911 before letting children call their parents to pick them up. Kansas Highway Patrol and Reno County Sheriff's Department officers stayed with the children until they were picked up. Pike had recently picked up the bus after it had developed a small leak. After determining there was no danger of fire, the children remained on the bus until their parents arrived. Sounds like a scary time for students. So, Johnny, are you involved in the HCC theater production of Proof?
Actually, I am. I work behind the scenes as the props manager, so I make sure all the props are where they're supposed to be and preset. And I'm also the co-manager for the costumes, so I make sure all the characters' costumes are in place and they change swiftly.
Well, that sounds good. I heard it was going to be a good show.
Oh, it's going to be amazing. Stay with us when we come back from a short commercial. Nick is here with sports.
welcome back to HCC News. I'm Nick Wall with sports. This week, Hutchinson's goalkeeper, a freshman from Arlington, Texas, Eunice Figueroa, was named the NJCAA Division I Women's Soccer Goalkeeper of the Week. Also, Hutchinson's football team rose 3 spots to number 11 this week on the NJCCA ladder. Elliot Alford, quarterback for the Dragons, was the Verizon Wireless Jayhawk Conference Football Offensive Player of the Week. Alford has completed 66.2% of his passes for 853 yards with 12 TDs and only 1 interception on the season. Next week, Hutchinson travels to Fort Scott after a bye week for an October 1 matchup against the Greyhounds at 1 p.m. at Frary Field. In NFL news, Tony Romo has been receiving treatment for a fractured rib and a collapsed lung. Coach Garrett says he'll hopefully be ready to play against the Cowboys' NFC East rivals, the Washington Redskins, or Dallas will have to turn to backup John Kitna again next week. The next game is versus the Redskins September 26th at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time, which is 7:30 p.m. Central Time. In the WNBA, Simone Augustus had 22 points and the Lynx beat the Silver Stars 85-67 on Tuesday night for the first playoff series in franchise history. Maya Moore and the Lynx beat the Silver Stars to win the first playoff series in franchise history. And that's all I have for sports. So, you guys going to enjoy the nice weather this weekend, the beautiful autumn air?
Yes, I think I'm going to take this opportunity to touch up my yard. It's getting around that time where the grass starts growing again, so you have to go out there and get a little sweaty and get the job done.
There's nothing better than the first couple weeks of fall when you can wear sweaters or hoodies or whatever you want to do, and it's just that perfect temperature.
Definitely, definitely.
That's all we have for news this week. We're going to leave you with a few more sights and sounds from the Kansas State Fair. Have a great week.
Go down in the city, and the sun shines on the bay. I wanna be there in my city. Oh, oh,
HCC News is a production of the Broadcast and Media Technology program of Hutchinson Community College. For more information on the program or to submit your story ideas, please call 665-3433.